Those words hit me like a sledgehammer to the chest. 14 years. 14 years of my life poured into Meridian Financial, and this kid in his designer suit just erased it all with one sentence. I stared at Derek Chen across his pristine desk, 28 years old, fresh MBA, our new IT director for exactly 3 weeks. His office still smelled like fresh paint and ambition. "I don't understand," I said. My voice came out smaller than I wanted. Derek didn't look up from his laptop. His fingers danced across the keyboard like he was composing my eulogy in real time. "The company needs to modernize, Marcus. We're moving to cloud-based everything, AI integration, blockchain security protocols." He finally looked at me, cold eyes behind trendy glasses. "You're 52 years old. You've been doing the same job since 2010. When was the last time you took a certification course?" My mouth opened, closed. The words stuck in my throat like broken glass. I'd built this place from the ground up. When Meridian had 12 employees, I was the guy who crawled under desks fixing network cables. When we grew to 50 people, I designed our entire server infrastructure. When we hit 200 employees, I created the security protocols that kept us safe for over a decade. But Derek Chen didn't care about any of that. "Security will escort you out," he said. "HR will email you about COBRA benefits." The room spun. My hands trembled. "Derek, please, can we talk about this? I've been learning new systems. I took an online course last month on the decision is final." 2 security guards appeared in the doorway like vultures. I recognized them both, Jim and Carlos. Good guys. They looked embarrassed. "Sorry, Marcus," Jim whispered as we walked past my cubicle. My desk looked so small suddenly. 14 years compressed into a cardboard box, family photos, a coffee mug that said "World's Okayest IT Guy," my old mechanical keyboard that I'd bought with my own money because I loved the way it clicked. The walk to the elevator felt like a death march. Coworkers avoided eye contact. Some pretended to be busy on phone calls. Others just stared at their screens. Only Sarah from accounting looked up. She mouthed, "I'm sorry," and gave me a sad wave. The elevator doors closed on my career. I sat in my Honda Civic in the parking lot for 20 minutes, just breathing, trying to process what had happened. The steering wheel felt foreign in my hands. Everything felt foreign. My phone buzzed, text from my wife, Linda. "How was your day, honey?" How do you tell the woman you love that you just became a 52-year-old unemployed man in a world that worships 20-something tech bros? I drove home in silence. Linda was in the kitchen making her famous lasagna. The smell of garlic and oregano usually made me smile. Today it just reminded me of all the dinners I might not be able to afford soon. "You're early," she said, kissing my cheek. "Good day?" I set my cardboard box on the counter. She stared at it like it might explode. "Oh, Marcus, no." The words tumbled out. Derek Chen, outdated skills, escorted out like a criminal, 14 years meaning nothing. Linda held me while I cried into her shoulder, 52 years old and crying like a child. "We'll figure this out," she whispered. "You're brilliant. Any company would be lucky to have you." But we both knew the truth. In tech, 52 might as well be 92. That night I lay awake staring at the ceiling, our mortgage, Linda's student loans from her nursing degree, the car payment, our daughter Emma's college fund that we'd been slowly building. All of it felt impossible now. I spent the next 3 weeks applying for jobs, dozens of them. The responses were always the same polite rejection. "We've decided to go with a candidate whose experience more closely matches our current needs." Translation, "You're too old." The few interviews I got were humiliating. Kids Derek's age asking me about programming languages I'd never heard of. Nodding politely when I talked about my experience, then asking if I was comfortable working with younger team members. Meanwhile, Linda picked up extra shifts at the hospital. She never complained, but I saw the exhaustion in her eyes, the worry lines that hadn't been there a month ago. I was failing her, failing our family. Then my phone rang on a Tuesday morning, unknown number. Marcus, this is Tom Rodriguez. I used to work at Meridian. Remember me? Of course I remembered Tom. Good kid. Well, he was 35 now, so not exactly a kid. I trained him when he started in our help desk 5 years ago. I heard what happened, Tom said. That's messed up, man. You taught me everything I know about network security. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Listen, I'm calling because something weird is happening at Meridian. Ever since you left, we've been having problems, system glitches, slow network speeds, and yesterday... He paused. Yesterday what? Derek fired 3 more people from your old team, said they were dead weight. Now it's just me and 2 junior techs trying to manage everything. My stomach clenched. Those weren't deadweight employees. Maria Santos had 15 years of experience. Jeff Wilson was our best hardware specialist. And Tom was good, but he wasn't ready to handle Meridian's entire IT infrastructure alone. Derek's bringing in some hotshot consulting firm, Tom continued. Cost 3 times what you guys made combined. They're supposed to implement some revolutionary new security system. What kind of system? I don't know. They won't tell me anything. Treat me like I'm some intern. But Marcus, I'm scared. These consultants don't know our network. They're changing things without understanding how they connect to everything else. Tom, be careful. Document everything. If something goes wrong, I gotta go. Derek's coming. The line went dead. I stared at my phone, a cold dread spreading through my chest. I knew Meridian systems better than anyone. Every server, every connection, every potential vulnerability. The network was like a living organism, and I'd been its caretaker for over a decade. These consultants were performing surgery on a patient they'd never examined. But it wasn't my problem anymore. Derek had made that crystal clear. Except I couldn't stop thinking about it. That weekend, Linda found me at my laptop researching cybersecurity firms in our area. You've been staring at that screen for 6 hours, she said. Something bad is going to happen at Meridian. Marcus, you can't save them from themselves. But what if I could prevent? No, her voice was firm. They threw you away like garbage. You don't owe them anything. She was right. I knew she was right. But I also knew that Meridian Financial managed retirement accounts for over 50,000 people, regular folks like us who trusted the company with their life savings. If something happened to their data, I closed the laptop. Monday morning brought another rejection email. This one didn't even bother with politeness, just a form letter that probably went out to hundreds of applicants. I was reading it for the 3rd time when my phone exploded with notifications. Tom was calling. Marcus, thank God, we need help. Everything's falling apart. Slow down, what's happening? The new security system went live an hour ago. Now half our servers are offline. The customer database is locked, and Derek's consultants are saying it's not their fault. My blood turned to ice. What exactly did they install? Some kind of AI-powered firewall. It's supposed to learn user behavior and automatically block threats. But it's blocking everything. Legitimate users can't access their accounts. Our own employees can't log into company systems. Tom, you need to roll back to the previous configuration immediately. I tried. The consultants say rollback could corrupt the data. Derek's freaking out, but he won't admit he made a mistake. He's blaming our legacy infrastructure. Legacy infrastructure? The systems I'd built and maintained for 14 years, the systems that had never failed once. How bad is it? Customers are calling nonstop, can't check their investment accounts, can't access their retirement funds, and Marcus, there's something else. What? I think we're being attacked, real time, while all this is happening. The phone felt heavy in my hand. What kind of attack? Probing attempts on our external ports, systematic, like someone's testing our defenses while they know we're vulnerable. My mind raced. A cybercriminal had found the perfect moment to strike. Meridian's defenses were down, their IT team was in K, and their new security system was actually making them more vulnerable. Tom, you need to disconnect from the internet, right now. I can't. Derek won't let me. Says it would be admitting failure to the board. The board? Emergency meeting in 2 hours. Derek's trying to convince them this is just a temporary glitch. I hung up and paced around my living room like a caged animal. 50,000 people's retirement savings were sitting behind a broken security system while hackers circled like sharks, and there was nothing I could do about it. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a news alert. Local financial firm experiencing technical difficulties as customers report locked accounts. The story was already public. I called Tom back. No answer. I tried again, straight to voicemail. Something was very wrong. Linda came home from her shift to find me staring at my laptop screen. News articles were multiplying. Social media posts from angry customers. Stock price alerts showing Meridian's parent company in freefall. "Marcus, what's happening?" I showed her the headlines. Her face went pale. "Those poor people, their retirement money. It gets worse. I think they're under active attack, and their IT team isn't responding." Linda sat beside me on the couch. We watched in real time as my former company self-destructed. "You could help them," she said quietly. "They fired me, remember? Called my skills outdated. But you know how to fix this." They'd never listen to me. Derek would rather watch the company burn than admit he was wrong. Linda took my hand. "Then don't go to Derek." I looked at her. "What do you mean? Who else is in that emergency board meeting?" My mind started spinning. The board. Senior executives who'd known me for years. People who remembered when it was just Marcus in a closet-sized office, keeping their computers running with duct tape and determination. People like Rebecca Martinez, the CFO. I'd saved her presentation to the biggest client in company history when her laptop crashed 5 minutes before the meeting. Or David Park, VP of Operations. I'd worked 3 straight days to recover his department's data after a server failure in 2018. They knew what I could do, but would they remember? My phone rang. Unknown number again. "Marcus, this is Rebecca Martinez." Speak of the devil. "Rebecca, hi. I heard about the problems at Marcus. I'm going to cut right to the chase. We're in deep trouble. Derek's consultants just admitted they can't fix what they broke. Tom Rodriguez is in the hospital." "What? Is he okay?" "Stress-induced panic attack. Poor kid was trying to hold everything together. Marcus, I'm calling because the board wants to know if you'd be willing to come back, temporarily, as an emergency consultant." My heart hammered against my ribs. "What about Derek?" "Derek Chen is no longer with the company." The words hung in the air like a bell that had just finished ringing. "What happened?" "The attack you predicted? It happened 20 minutes ago. Complete system breach. Customer data, financial records, everything. The hackers left a message on Derek's computer screen. They said they'd been watching our security changes for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment." I closed my eyes. It was exactly what I'd feared. "Rebecca, how bad is the breach?" "We don't know yet. That's why we need you. You're the only person who knows our systems well enough to assess the damage and fix it. Name your price." I looked at Linda. She nodded. "I'll do it, but I have conditions. Anything. I want Tom Rodriguez as my second-in-command when he's recovered. I want Maria Santos and Jeff Wilson rehired immediately, and I want a written apology from the board for how this was handled." "Done. How soon can you be here?" "Give me 30 minutes." I drove to Meridian in my Honda Civic, the same car I'd cried in 4 weeks ago. But everything felt different now. I wasn't the discarded employee anymore. I was the cavalry. The parking lot was chaos. News vans, police cars, FBI vehicles. This wasn't just a corporate crisis anymore. This was a federal investigation. Rebecca met me at the side entrance. She looked like she'd aged 5 years in 5 weeks. "Thank God you're here," she said. "The FBI wants to know what data was compromised. The state attorney general is asking questions, and our customers—" She didn't need to finish. I could hear the phones ringing from the lobby. "Where's the server room?" Sealed off by the feds, but they're letting us access it with supervision. Agent Sarah Chen introduced herself. No relation to Derek, thankfully. She was FBI Cybercrime Division and she looked like she knew her business. Mr. Webb, we understand you designed most of these systems? All of them, from the ground up. We need to know what the attackers accessed. Can you help us trace their footprints? I cracked my knuckles. Let's find out what they took. The server room was a disaster. Cables everywhere, equipment that had been hastily installed and poorly configured. Derek's consultants had turned my carefully organized network into a digital junkyard. But I knew every inch of it. I sat down at the main terminal and started typing. Commands I'd been running for 14 years, pathways through the system that I'd memorized like song lyrics. There, I said after 20 minutes. Entry point was the new firewall system. The AI was supposed to learn normal user behavior, but it was never properly trained. The attackers fed it false data to teach it that their intrusion attempts were normal. Agent Chen leaned over my shoulder. Clever. What did they access? I traced the digital footprints through the system. My heart sank with each discovery. Customer database, financial records, social security numbers, investment portfolios. I paused. They got everything. The room went silent except for the humming of servers. But, I continued, they didn't get the backup system. Rebecca's head snapped up. What backup system? I allowed myself a small smile. The one I installed 3 years ago that Derek's consultants didn't know about, air-gapped from the main network, updated nightly with encrypted customer data. Agent Chen stared at me. You're saying there's a complete backup of all customer information that wasn't compromised? Not just a backup, a restoration system. I can have customer accounts accessible through a secure portal within 6 hours, full functionality within 24 hours. Rebecca actually started crying. Marcus, you just saved our company. But I wasn't done yet. Agent Chen, I can also tell you exactly who did this. How? I pulled up a series of log files. The attackers left fingerprints in the system, specific coding signatures, and they made one mistake. I highlighted a section of code on the screen. This exploit was custom designed for our old security protocols, the ones Derek replaced. Someone with inside knowledge of our systems created this attack months ago, then waited for the perfect moment to use it. Inside knowledge? Someone who had administrative access to our network. Someone who knew exactly how our systems worked before the recent changes. I pulled up the access logs from 6 months ago. There it was. Derek Chen downloaded our complete network documentation 2 weeks after he was hired, including security protocols, server configurations, and backup procedures. Agent Chen's expression darkened. You're suggesting this was an inside job? I'm not suggesting anything. I'm showing you the evidence. Rebecca grabbed my arm. Marcus, are you saying Derek planned this whole thing? I'm saying Derek Chen created the perfect conditions for this attack, then conveniently disappeared right before the FBI arrived. You might want to check if he's left the country yet. Agent Chen was already on her phone. The next 18 hours were a blur. I worked straight through the night, rebuilding Meridian's security infrastructure from the ground up. Maria and Jeff arrived at midnight, officially rehired and ready to work. Tom called from the hospital around 3 a.m. Marcus, man, I'm so sorry. I should have listened to you about the rollback. Tom, you did everything right. Derek put you in an impossible situation. Are we going to be okay? I looked around the server room. New cables properly organized. Security protocols that I'd been developing in my head for months finally implemented. A network that was stronger than ever. We're going to be better than okay. By morning, we had customer accounts restored. The FBI had tracked Derek Chen to a hotel near the airport, where they found him with a laptop full of stolen customer data and wire transfer records showing payments from a cybercriminal organization. The news crews were calling it the fastest recovery from a major data breach in corporate history. Rebecca found me in the break room around noon, drinking coffee from my old World's Okayest IT Guy mug. The board wants to offer you Derek's position, she said. Full salary, benefits, and a signing bonus that should make up for the last month. I sipped my coffee. It tasted better than I remembered. I'll take it, but I want to make some changes around here. Anything you want. No more firing experienced employees for younger, cheaper alternatives. No more consultants who don't understand our business. And no more treating IT like a cost center instead of the backbone of this company. Done. Anything else? I thought about it. Yeah, I want a new coffee machine for the break room. This one makes terrible coffee. Rebecca laughed. I think we can manage that. That evening, I drove home in my Honda Civic one more time, but tomorrow I'd have a parking space with my name on it. Marcus Webb, Director of Information Technology. Linda was waiting in the kitchen. She'd made lasagna again. This time the smell made me smile. So? She asked. I set a bottle of champagne on the counter. Derek Chen is going to federal prison. Meridian's customers got their money back, and your husband just got the biggest promotion of his career. She kissed me, and for the first time in weeks, everything felt right. I'm proud of you, she whispered. You saved them. No, I said. I saved us. My phone buzzed with a text from Tom. He was being released from the hospital tomorrow and wanted to know if we were hiring. I texted back, come in Monday, we've got work to do. Because Derek Chen was wrong about one thing, experience doesn't become outdated, wisdom doesn't have an expiration date, and sometimes the old ways are the best ways, especially when you're the one who built them in the first place. The next morning's headlines told the whole story. Local IT hero saves company from cybercriminal conspiracy. Below that, a smaller headline, former employee's hidden backup system prevents financial disaster. I kept that newspaper, framed it, and hung it in my new office. Right next to my college degree and a photo of my team, the real team. The people who understood that technology isn't about the newest gadgets or the latest buzzwords. It's about trust, reliability, and knowing that when everything goes wrong, someone with real experience will be there to fix it. Someone whose skills never go out of style,